Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Davey Dangerously coming at you once again, as always, with Dan the B Salazar, and finally returning Rated R Salazar, feeling as better.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Yeah. He's better. He's here. It is episode 19.
19?
One more away.
I missed 2 episodes.
You did. Your sick ass. And during Mania week, no less.
Right?
You're off the Christmas card list. So it's Mania's over. I'm gonna call this the madness of Mania because so much stuff happened over that weekend.
Yeah.
We have a lot to cover. We're gonna cover the entire weekend, starting with NXT.
The entire WWE weekend.
Yeah, entire
WWE. So much more wrestling, but we'll talk about that in other episodes. A lot happened in indie wrestling.
Oh yeah.
So many great matches, but we're gonna mostly cover WWE this episode because so much happened. I mean,
it was a great weekend.
NXT, Hall of Fame, Mania, of course, and then Raw, and
the greatest Raw of the year.
Some might argue that, but you know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It was good. It was good Raw.
It was.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to last Friday NXT Takeover. What an awesome card.
Man.
That show was phenomenal, top to bottom.
Oh yeah, there was not a bad match on that entire card.
I kind of wish that I watched Mania first, then NXT after, because Mania did not touch Takeover. You know, I thought Takeover was it. You know, I mean, it was fantastic. It was such a great show.
It started off so hot with American Alpha and the Revival.
I was just gonna say, let's start with the first match. Exactly. American Alpha defeated the Revival.
Yeah, those guys.
Much deserved.
Jason Jordan's been working his ass off in NXT for a couple of years already, and Gable's like the shot in the arm that he needed. So
and it's a perfect combination.
Perfect
combination. Those guys are perfect together. Bread and butter, peanut butter and jelly, ham, burger,
Kool-Aid.
I mean, I'm telling you, like those guys were made for each other.
Yeah, they were a great combination. Great match, man. The Revival, to be honest, I mean, I like them. I dig the whole old school thing, but I just wasn't like feeling it from them. Yeah. But man, they worked their asses off in that match.
There was one little botchamania moment.
You totally missed it. But it still doesn't take away from that match. I love those guys. They're like the Arn and Tully of old, and to go against Alpha was just a great, just 2 different styles coming together to form an awesome match.
Oh yeah,
much deserved.
And personally, I would have been okay with them not winning the titles in this because this is their first match of their feud. But I think that crowd would have just exploded. They would have shit on it if those guys would have lost.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they won. They started the show off and made everybody just so happy.
And then I don't know about how you guys feel like with Jordan and Gable, like when they won and they're holding the titles and they're hugging and they got the tears in their eyes. Yeah, they're crying because they're so appreciative. Being that, I'm a huge fan of that, and watching that, I felt a little choked up because...
Oh man, I cried all Mania weekend.
Right?
Oh man.
I'm glad you guys are saying that too, because I felt like a pussy.
Tissues.
Yeah, man. The NXT got me choked up a few times, not including Hall of Fame, Raw, I mean everything, the whole weekend. So we were all a bunch of big crybabies.
So from that match, we had a debut, in-ring debut. Austin Aries came into NXT, defeated Baron Corbin in his debut. Great match. The greatest man that ever lived. Tore it down.
Yeah, I love that he got to keep his name, Austin Aries.
Oh my God.
And more so keep his moniker, the greatest man that ever lived.
You know what though?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm pissed because he didn't bring the gun.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, I was saying the same thing. The only thing is I wish he wore his cape.
I'm sorry for killing your thunder.
We needed that cape. We needed that cape.
We need the cape.
No, but he had a big win over Corbin. Corbin's had, to me, Corbin's been like getting so much better every.
Oh yeah. He's just improving with the time goes by.
And I love that his asshole gimmick, and he hates the indie guys. So he's been putting on great matches with indie guys, and I think that was. I don't know. I kind of would have liked to see him win, but we'll go later on into the show.
Yeah, we'll touch on that.
Corbin ended up having a great weekend.
He did.
But
he won something?
may have. But no, I've seen Corbin, seeing Aries beat Corbin was pretty cool and a big step for him, like a big showing to start his career in NXT.
And giving the WWE fans that don't know of him yet, giving them a taste of what's soon to come, because those of us that love, the sport and watch, or the entertainment, who watch it, who know Aries, not personally, but know where he's coming from. We're fans, and so it's cool to see that the WWE fans are getting to see what we already know.
Finally.
Yeah, and I think he's a perfect guy for the mid-card guys in NXT to feud with. But, I mean, all it takes is one match for him to be in the main event. I can see him.
He's a main event guy for sure.
Feuding with Balor soon.
So, speaking of Austin Aries, as the night went on, they showed Bobby Roode his Dirty Heels tag team partner in TNA.
That was awesome. That was like...
I marked out.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all.
Because again, they did what they did with AJ Styles. They had a crowd shot, and the crowd went, ah! And then they showed Roode, and I'm like, oh my God, Bobby!
That was awesome. So
I
it was
love that.
Really cool, and according to the dirt sheets, they say Bobby Roode signed, sealed, delivered. So
he's signed. What about, are we going to see Eric Young anytime soon? Any word on that? Because
I've read that they're actually really interested in Eric Young too. Because of the fact that he can kind of play any character, that he had such a
he can go from nice guy to psycho.
He had a really diverse career in TNA, playing the goofy guy, Santino Marella type character.
And
now he's the more serious guy.
And he never lost the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship.
So he's
still a champion.
Technically, yeah.
He's still a champion. So is ODB, I'm just saying. Speaking of the women, Asuka defeated Bayley for the NXT title. Man, what a match that was.
I think that was a great match. I think they both worked really hard. I think the crowd was like deflated though after the Nakamura Sami Zayn match.
Oh God!
Sorry, we're gonna go into that too.
Oh yeah, but, I didn't want to go chronological order, but I think we're deflated.
I think, man, the crowd was not necessarily deflated. They were spent. They were just so tired from all of that action. We're going to talk about that right now. But
right now,
it was almost sad that Bayley and Asuka didn't.
That they had to follow.
Yeah,
they had to follow.
But who can follow that?
Right.
So
WrestleMania couldn't even follow that.
So they worked their asses off. Bayley, of course, lost the title. She never gave up. So that's going to be, I think, the continued storyline that she's still a fighting champion, still going to try to go back after her title. Do you guys think that this is going to continue for a while, or do you guys see Bayley going to the main roster soon?
I hope it does, because Asuka's only been there 6 months, and I mean, she deserves the title. Don't get me wrong, but there's no way. Like Bayley, she didn't really. I don't want to say she didn't put up a fight, but she got in that chokehold and she was out. So she still deserves that.
You can't blame her. Let me choke you out. See
how I'm just saying, like, I'll be reaching for something to get you in the head.
Right.
All right.
But it seems like she's kind of Cena-esque. Like, she didn't give up. She's going to keep fighting for that title. She's going to keep doing it for the little kids, for the hug life.
Yeah.
So I think she's going to have a little feud here and there.
So she'll stick around NXT?
I say it lasts another takeover and then back to the women's revolution, which we'll get into that a little bit later. So let's talk about Shinsuke Nakamura. Oh my God!
Yeah, that was
from top to bottom.
Instant classic. Instant classic.
The match, absolutely, but even before the match, I mean, I think everybody's fear when you have an indie guy or a guy from Japan or a guy wherever is getting signed to WWE, the fear is that they're gonna water them down. They're gonna lose what makes them. Yeah, and everybody I think feared that for Nakamura. They thought, oh, they're gonna give him the goofy Japanese.
Is he gonna not do his weird shit?
He's gonna have this stupid and
his entrance music.
But man,
number one in the iTunes
today.
iTunes today, yeah.
WWE or NXT or Triple H or whoever was in charge of that did a fantastic job. Nakamura's entrance video, entrance music, his his swag is all him, but his walking out to that.
You sign him and you let him be himself.
Yeah, that was
this guy
absolutely perfect.
This guy has got to. I mean, this was okay. We're talking about our top Mania moments of weekend. This is my top Mania weekend moment. Oh, yeah. That match right there was phenomenal. And I think that he injects liquid Viagra in his arms and his legs because his shots are stiff as fuck. Oh, man, he was awesome. And hearing him hit Zayn and giving those
forearms,
and then Zayn is giving it back to him.
That's what I was just about to say.
Like he respected him enough that you gonna beat the shit out of me. Okay, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And Nakamura's got the bloody nose going, and he's looking at it and tasting it.
Oh my god!
That right there. I was excited. I was sitting there, my palms were sweaty. I was like,
I was gonna say, we're giving Nakamura all this credit, but man, Sami Zayn put on a match that I've never seen Sami Zayn do in the WWE.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, of course, his indie credit. He's put on thousands of great matches. But he's never wrestled this style, this strong style, in WWE. And
he
NXT.
took it and he gave it back. Yeah, and that right now, I've always been a fan of Zayn, but I just that much more respect for Zayn. I mean, that to me was bad. Those chops and those hits and those, I felt them. And the next day I woke up sore.
I really didn't expect, Sami Zayn always puts on hell of a match, but I didn't expect that style of a match from him. And the match that he put on with Nakamura was, I think, a perfect match for both of them at the perfect time. It was Sami Zayn's perfect send-off from NXT and Nakamura's perfect debut. So they both looked super strong. Sami Zayn, didn't look weak in his loss. Not at all. And Nakamura.
And at that end, he puts his hand out and the show of respect and that.
And then he finished him with the Bomaye, or now they're calling it.
I'm not gonna attempt
Kinshasa. The Kinshasa.
Kinshasa. I think that's.
This guy, man,
you got Moro Ronaldo over here.
He's been watching.
But yeah, that match blew everybody away. It blew the ring crew away. We loved it.
That's my number one contendership for match of the year.
Hands down.
Christmas time, you guys are watching this in December, go back to this episode 19, and I'm calling right now, match of the year.
We're all going to say that.
Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn blew the house. I mean, it's just, I don't even know how to say it, how to put it into words. It was so awesome, that match.
It was breathtaking, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
And then we go into the NXT title match, Finn Balor versus Joe.
I have to say, I'm sorry.
No, it was.
I was just gonna say.
Sad.
I was not. I mean, of course. I love Finn Balor. I love Samoa Joe. They're both great. But I was just so excited for Nakamura and Zayn that I wasn't even so excited about that match. But man, when it started, those guys.
Joe took that headbutt.
Yeah.
The first 2 minutes into it.
That killed the whole match because the rest was just. I mean, the match was great, but it seems like. Let's get the trainers out and wipe the blood off and pack it full of Vaseline. It just kind of took away.
And you can see Joe was pissed.
I don't necessarily think it killed it though. For me,
it just kind of.
I understand.
It killed its momentum.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But I love the fact that it fired Joe up.
Oh man,
so I love that they. Every time they. The trainers and refs would move, they'd get back at it, and it was.
And Joe was pissed, get out of my face, let me do this.
And they were following up such an intense, hard-hitting, and strong style match that they wanted to, show up these guys.
Up the ante.
Yeah. So I think Balor did an incredible job. Mm-hmm. Joe was, for me, for the first time in NXT. Joe looked like a main event. Because I love Joe, but honestly, his NXT run has been a little lackluster.
Yeah.
And the first match that he had with Balor in London, it didn't do a lot for me.
No.
But this match, man, was they both kicked ass. I was kind of hoping he would win, and it was
hoping for the.
And it was a really there was moments where I really thought he was gonna win, but it was an impressive match. It wasn't Nakamura Zayn to me, but it was a hell of a match.
Nothing else right now can be Nakamura Zayn.
Yeah,
but it was that's the hashtag Nakamura Zayn.
But it was a hell of a match, I thought. And Joe looked like a fucking killer with that blood pouring down his face.
Man. And the crowd, fuck PG. let them fight. Oh my god.
That let them fight chant was awesome.
That's what we mentioned for the Nakamura
where that crowd was fight forever. Oh man,
that literally gave me goosebumps when I heard them saying "fight forever." I was just like, oh, what? That's never heard that chant ever. Yeah. And what a perfect match to have for that chant to be
debut.
So literally gave me chills. Then back to the main event, the title match. Those guys let them fight, let him bleed. Fuck PG. All these great chants. The fans were getting riled up. They were getting losing their momentum too when the refs would stop it.
Oh yeah. You don't want to sit there and watch some ref wipe some. It's a little blood.
And it was Drake Younger of all people. Of all Drake, the king of death matches.
The guy sweats blood.
The guy who's poured buckets of blood his whole career is having to stop a match. I know it's not Drake's choice, but still love you, Drake. But that was pretty funny to see, and a lot of people mentioned that on Twitter and stuff too, like the irony of that. But it is PG and they have an image to uphold. So.
Well, that's true, but that was just Friday. Let's talk about Saturday, the Hall of Fame.
Saturday Hall of Fame was a long show. Woo! I was surprised.
It's 3 hours and 40-something minutes, was it? Somewhere
it was long and
winded.
Speaking of winded, the Freebirds. Oh my God, Jimmy Jam was blown up.
Yeah, man.
So was Michael P.S. Hayes, but Jimmy Jam was.
Sometimes Jimmy Jam came along. Yeah, man, Jimmy Jam was blown up. The dude is, he's old now.
He's almost 60 or 60.
He kind of looks like King Kong Bundy and Sergeant Slaughter had a love child, and Jimmy Jam came on. He looks like shit. I'm sorry, Jimmy Jam. I was a fan of yours as a kid with your fro and everything else, and the feather boas and the baby doll, and
their stories were great. I was a little bummed out though at Michael P.S. Hayes' outfit.
Man.
He comes out to some ridiculous shit on a Tuesday.
Normal,
for brunch. But this guy came. His outfit was cool, but
did he have a fanny pack on?
Yeah. He had his fanny pack on. He had like
the colostomy bag.
This guy, no respect. What really was going on?
Rated R, baby. Rated R style.
Yeah, it went back. He threw it back to his Freebird days, but. Like Big Dave says, this guy is wild. He's wearing purple suits and green suits and all this stuff. So we were expecting
a red tuxedo to freaking IHOP.
Yeah, we were expecting something big. It was still kind of cool to see him in his Bad Street USA shirt.
His dungarees. Their stories were great. He had Kevin Von Erich came out. Boy, did he look like shit.
Yeah.
My wife, who is not that much of a wrestling fan, said, "Oh my God, is he sick? Does he have cancer?"
He had a stroke on stage.
Yeah, I'm like, no. And then the whole new gay guys slip up. Like, man, I don't know.
Those new gay boys.
Yeah, like, oh. And the crowd, they were starting to give it to him, and he just kept talking. So thank God it didn't turn into a New Gay Rocks chant.
Kofi ran with it though.
He did on Twitter.
Yeah, that was cool. Kofi's tweet.
Poor Von Erich. That's awful.
Yeah, that was.
But you should follow his brothers. No.
Oh my God! We're gonna have to edit that out. So I think Michael P.S. Hayes' speech was great. Thanked everybody. His karaoke of Bad Street was great. He was running around like crazy. Another great story. Another great induction with great stories was the Godfathers. I was a little sad the hoes did not induct him. They did bring him out, and there was a hoe train.
I kind of want to go to Vegas and hang out with him. He invited us all to go hang out with him. We're going to bring a recruit from Vegas talking to the Godfather. That'd be awesome right there. Wouldn't that be awesome? Recruit road trip talking to Charles Wright? Oh, man.
And then another thing that wasn't really publicized until the day of the event was the Legacy Award, which had like legends. I'm going to read them off here. Sailor Art Thomas, one of the first African-American superstars. Pat O'Connor, former NWA champion. Mildred Burke, women's wrestler in the 30s, 40s. Frank Gotch, George Hackenschmidt, those guys go back to the turn of the
beginnings of
anyone who follows wrestling knows Gotch.
Yeah, those were like the first NWA champions. Ed Strangler Lewis, And the one that really got me was Luthez. Like, he did so much for the sport, like, you know, early in the 50s, 60s, but, I mean, he was doing stuff for WCW, like, in, you know, the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
I think he could have got a little bit more respect. I think someone like Jim Ross could have gave a great induction speech. But it is nice to see these guys in the Hall of Fame. The other guys are kind of like, I don't want to say passe, but I mean, you're going to get George Hackenschmidt's great-great-grandson that induct him, you know?
Yeah.
But
I think that's why they did it, you know?
Yeah, a lot of it was like pre-TV kind of
pre-TV guys, yeah.
But Luthez...
Yeah, that one was a little bit... maybe
because if it wasn't for Luthez, then you would have no Buddy Rogers, and without Buddy Rogers, you wouldn't have the WWE, so...
Yeah.
Hell, even Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't Luthez press.
Doesn't Luthez press? So I just think, as great as it is that those guys got in, I think, I don't know, Luthez could have got a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's the hooker.
I agree.
And let's talk about Sting.
Stinger.
Oh, man. Shed a tear.
It wasn't...
No, because he says he didn't say goodbye. He's saying see you later.
I think he might still be involved in the wrestling business. I think he would be like...
You think he's got one more match in him?
No.
You don't think so?
I think he announced his retirement.
Everyone announces their retirement.
No.
HBK came back.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's
I'm
right.
jumping the gun. Anyway, spoiler alert.
No, I think Sting is done in the ring. I think, if anything, I was thinking because they've had such a, for so many years, they've had the authority figures in WWE, the bad guy, the heel authority figures. I thought, oh, what if they could bring back a GM, you know, like Teddy Long, a good GM, a good guy, you know. Sting. I think Sting won't dance like that. I think Sting would. I think Sting would make a comeback to be some type of authority figure, maybe GM, whatever you want to call it.
That'd be pretty cool to see him in that.
But in the ring, Sting did announce his retirement, so I personally think he's completely done.
He has nothing left to prove.
Yeah, he's had a hell of a career. It was sad that we never got our Sting Undertaker match that a lot of people wanted. And
now it would be shit.
But still, man, you'd still watch it.
I would still watch it just because I got the network. I'm paying for it anyway.
Yeah,
so I still watch it.
I think Sting Undertaker was a match that everyone wanted, but it's going to go down in history as the match that never happened. So
it happened in WCW. Mean Mark versus the Stinger.
Sting versus Undertaker.
Well, I'm just saying. They had a match. That's all I'm saying. It was on Clash of Champions. They put up on the network.
But no, but yeah, like we said, Sting had a hell of a career, so he deserves to.
I remember being a kid watching him, and I think you had his haircut.
Yeah,
I think you had that little flat top mullet thing going on. You did.
The little rat tail.
Oh yeah. Little Stinger.
I was a little Stinger too. Yeah.
All of us.
I had a fro. I couldn't do it.
Well, so now let's go to the record-breaking WrestleMania. WrestleMania 32 in Dallas.
That was a long day.
Wow.
Oh my God.
7 hours of wrestling or something like that.
Jeez. 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So yeah,
it was crazy. Yeah. They finally beat the 93,173 from Pontiac Silverdome.
101,763.
Yes.
101,763 is. I hear it's a work number, but.
I hear like 90,000.
I think it was closer to like 98,000, but still that breaks the attendance record. So I mean, you know,
just the gate alone, they made what, $17 million?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Just at the gate alone, that's not even concession stands, merchandise.
Pay-per-view,
that's freaking
everything else.
Paying for your ticket, $17 million.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a drop and a half for old Vince.
Right?
So
that's WCW times 4 that he bought.
No, but that was.
It was great to see all those. I mean, there was so many people. We had a couple friends there. Carlos, Hulk Hogan tattoo guy, Christian, our buddy Josh, who's a Ring Crew follower. They were there. They were sending us photos. They were sending us videos.
Yeah.
It was great to see these guys having a good time, even though we couldn't be there. We want to thank Carlos for wearing his Ring Crew shirt at Access, getting pictures with Great Muda, getting
Shane Douglas.
Yeah,
that was I marked out on that one, Carlos. That was awesome.
Yeah, so let's get into
this is for you, Dad.
Baron Corbin surprises us all with his WrestleMania debut.
Yeah, it was kind of
winning the Battle Royal to Andre the Giant.
Yeah, I was rooting for Tatanka.
Yeah.
It was so random.
Like 5 minutes in.
And Shaq
Like 5 minutes in, I was like, is that Tatanka? Like, why didn't they announce him?
It looks like it's Tatanka.
Yeah.
But
Shaq was there. Shaq was there.
Shaq was cool because of the name value, but I mean, for real, him and Big Show are gonna fucking just hold each other's necks. That's it, you know.
He says he's calling Big Show out for Mania next year, 1-on-1. So we'll
33.
See.
I'd rather see Big Show Akibono Part 2. That was shit. Yeah.
Baron Corbin gets
Baron Corbin
victory throwing out Kane.
Yeah, that was cool. It was kind of a weird thing where they didn't even really make a big deal about him being in the ring.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's like in the final four, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I think Corbin's gonna do this, you know. And then he
I'm liking Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I'm digging it. He threw out Kane, so that's a huge win for him.
A Mania. He's got a Mania moment, and he's in his 20s.
He's got his Mania moment.
You know, he's just got so much more to go.
And apparently that was his debut on the main roster.
He's on the main roster.
Full time on the main roster now, so screw you, Austin Aries.
Who wins now? So let's jump to...
You waited for that one.
Yeah. I was like, I remember
holding that in.
I remember to say that. I wrote it on my hand.
So let's jump to the match that you called, Zack Ryder winning the IC title, which pisses me off.
Woo.
I was legit happy for him.
I mean, of course, everybody wanted to see Owens and Zayn do their thing, and they got their shit in. There was so many great moments. Everybody did. Sin Cara kicked ass. I mean, everybody had their moments.
Cody Rhodes wearing them polka dots. I'm sorry, Stardust. Wearing them polka dots. That was
a cool tribute.
He had the hard times on his back.
The polka dot ladder too.
All the polka dot ladder.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was
awesome. I'm glad that was a great tribute because that statue of Dusty looked like shit.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, guys.
From here down, the statue is great, but that face,
man,
what up?
Right?
Oh, you guys are messed up.
No, Cody Rhodes said to go talk to the Dream. Do not talk to that face. You get a picture. And
I
talk to the Dream.
love the statue. I love it. I want to take a picture with it rubbing his belly.
I'll take a picture with it, but good lord.
Right? Yeah.
The Warrior statue was great.
Bruno
was great.
Fantastic.
Even the one with Seth Rollins looked a little weird, but that was way better.
Oh my god.
Poor Dusty.
Anyway, back to the match. The match was actually a really great match. Everybody worked hard. Everybody sold their asses off. They worked their asses off. I mean, everybody had great moments. And if Owens didn't keep the title, I was glad that Zack Ryder won it. Just to have his Mania moment. He deserves it. He's been with the company.
And his dad runs in.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
He's been in the company for almost 10 years
already,
maybe, something like that.
I think him and Cena debuted together.
Seems that way.
So he deserved it. I think he deserved a Mania moment, and I think he put himself in that moment. Mm-hmm. I think because what they're saying, according to the dirt sheets, is up until the day of Mania, Owens was scheduled to keep his title, and Zack Ryder got so much fan support because of the videos he posted, the picture he posted with Razor.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was
the
great.
Video he posted of him climbing the ladder as a backyard wrestler, and the kid saying,
jumping on that trampoline with
climbing the ladder as a kid. Now I'm gonna be climbing the ladder at Mania, like all this stuff. He got so much fan support in those last few days that I think that convinced the WWE, like, oh, maybe we'll give him a Mania moment. And
for a day.
What? Hey, nobody can take that moment away from him.
True.
And I think he's still going to be in the title picture. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think.
I think he had a match on SmackDown.
Yeah. So
against Miz.
Well, we'll get to that. You're jumping the gun, bro.
So
we're still on Sunday.
So that was a cool moment.
That was very cool.
Zack Ryder win.
So debut AJ Styles versus Y2J. What do you guys think about that?
AJ Styles put on a hell of a match. I don't think that there was any reason for Chris Jericho to win that match, though.
So random.
Chris Jericho's done so much in his career. This was his chance to me to pass that torch.
Oh, he's put over a lot of guys. He lost to Fandango, for Christ's sake.
Right?
But
so you lose to Fandango and then you beat Styles?
Who has so much momentum.
And Fandango, don't get me wrong, is, he's a decent wrestler. But AJ Styles, really? I don't know.
Well, AJ's weekend wasn't over yet. We'll get into that.
True.
But I think there was, AJ should have won, hands down.
Yeah, and it was good.
Great match.
I mean, it was good. Put on
it was decent. It was a decent match.
You figure he hit him with the Styles Clash, he hit him with the forearm. And
the 450.
The 450 and still lost.
Yeah.
Come on, son. But we'll talk about AJ a little in a couple minutes. New Day, great entrance. The big ass box of bootios.
And they're what are they wearing? Dragon Ball Z gear. Yeah, that was fantastic.
I was a little surprised they lost to League of Nations. Like,
yeah, what was that about?
I don't know. First off, it was a non-title match, which I thought was just random.
Yeah.
And then they go and lose.
I think the reasoning behind it was to keep to keep League of Nations in the ring, standing tall, so that
oh my god,
our next big Mania moment.
Right? You got Michael's music hit. He comes out and I'm marking out
in his gear.
No less. And he's standing there, and you're like, "Who's gonna join him? Who's gonna join him?" And then Mick Foley comes out, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" In his gear, looking old as shit, but still awesome. And then
50 pounds down, Mick Foley.
Yeah,
Mick Foley.
True.
He is looking good.
He does, right?
And then
the glass breaks, and oh my god, I almost spilled my drink. I was watching it, and I was like, "Oh!" And my drink, like I had to hold on to it because I was so.
The best part about that was Austin trying to dance.
No,
with Xavier Woods.
They came out though, man.
Shit.
I was literally like, grabbing this guy, like, oh my god.
He shook me. I was shaking him.
I was rock hard.
solid as a rock.
No, but that was a really cool Mania moment.
It was.
Surprise moment, seeing those.
No
guys.
one was expecting it. I mean, no.
We were expecting legends, but not like that.
And to get in the ring and to get physical.
Oh yeah,
dropping stunners on the New Day.
Right.
Yeah.
Super kicks, double arm DDTs. Oh my God.
That was a really cool moment. So.
Great moment.
Is this the end? Is this like the last we see of Michaels? The last we see of Mick Foley? The last we see of Austin?
I think so. I think it was just for Mania.
Yeah.
I don't see.
We'll
Michaels
see
has nothing to prove. Steve Austin said it before. He's never gonna come back. Mick Foley. This is the first time he's really got physical in years.
Yeah. But like we said, he's 50 pounds
50
down.
pounds
He's
lighter.
feeling good.
He's feeling froggy.
Yeah, he's looking good, man.
He's looking good. Yeah. And Brock versus Dean.
That was a big letdown.
Big build up. Match was what? 7-8 minutes?
Big letdown.
Lackluster.
I mean, Lesnar kicked ass like always. Suplex City like always.
Like always. We're expecting it.
No, I mean, it was. I mean, he does what we expect him to do, and that's fine. It was,
I don't know. I mean,
but
you can't build someone up to be a monster.
Well, I think they did that with Dean. I think they build him up. Collecting all these weapons, collecting this barbed wire.
And walking out to the ring and just ignoring the shit out of Lesnar. That was awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, the build up though, with him having all these weapons, you're expecting, I mean, we even talked about, I said, this match is probably going to have blood, this match is going to be, not PG. When we talked about it, I was excited for it, and then it's like he used like 12 chairs, like, everybody uses chairs every day.
Right.
I mean, not that I want to see these guys gushing blood or anything, but if you're gonna build up a match like
you're gonna bring out Barbie, you better damn well use Barbie.
Yeah, he didn't even use it.
Like fake hit him in the gut with it.
Nothing. He licked her and that was it. Like
So that match was
bat with a barbed wire.
That match was a weird match, I thought. And to be fair to Dean Ambrose, from what I've read, is that he actually really lobbied hard in the backstage to have more violent spots, not just for him to do to Lesnar, but for him to take.
He wanted to bring out some Moxley moments.
Yeah, he wanted some more spots that he thought of, and he pitched them, and everything he pitched supposedly got shot down. So it's not necessarily his fault, but the match I thought was poorly produced and not anything that it should have been.
At least if Lesnar, beat him, they could have ended it with like Dean looking up at him and waving or giving the mic and saying thank you.
Yeah, can you imagine Lesnar beating him and Ambrose, in the middle of the ring, covered in blood, sitting up, smiling at him,
smiling, saying "I'll see you soon."
Yeah,
something.
There's a Mania.
That would have made that. That would have, and then that would have been like, okay, you know what? That ending alone was awesome because the fact that the match was but to end it like that.
Yeah, I don't always want to see blood in wrestling. I don't think it's always necessary.
See, you're saying I'm bad.
No, I'm just saying.
Bloodthirsty
I don't think it's always necessary.
Yeah.
But man, a moment like that, can you imagine?
That would have made that. That would have made that.
Red
match.
equals green, baby.
That's
right.
Speaking of green, let's talk about this next match, the triple threat women's match.
That was awesome.
That match was great, and now the Divas title is no more. Brand new title debuted. Lita came out with the brand new women's title. Looks very much like the World Heavyweight Championship.
I think it's cool. I like it.
It's cool. Yeah.
That
damn
match
tag team belts.
oh god, that match did not disappoint.
It was hard hitting.
This is where I'm gonna interject myself in here. This one, I'm sorry, but the match was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
The Sasha Banks did a phenomenal job. Becky Lynch did a fantastic. Did you see that shiner on her the next day?
Man.
Oh my god! Somebody punched the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Charlotte did a great job. Now I'm not a fan of Charlotte. Charlotte did a great job.
Yeah.
But to have them end it with Ric Flair interfering and holding Sasha's leg and just, it could have been a lot more, you know, it could have been a lot better. I don't see why Ric Flair should have been a factor in that.
I agree with that as well.
You take the octogenarian out, he doesn't belong there, you know. You don't belong in a women's match. Let them beat the shit out of each other and, you know, and go from there.
And that was a lot of the criticism they faced too online. A lot of people were saying, you know, you want this women's revolution, no more divas, you want this women's revolution, you want these women to look strong, and then the woman needs a man's help to win.
Right.
You know, like, what's that about, you know?
Oh, I agree.
It was a hell of a match. Charlotte did an awesome moonsault off the top rope.
Oh, yes. That was like the
Sasha did an amazing dive out the ring.
Saved herself.
She just, that last second flip, oh my god. I thought she was going to land on her head, but man, she did an awesome save. And the whole Guerrero outfit, that was awesome, man. Respect to Eddie.
Yeah, respect to Eddie on that one.
That was awesome.
Coming out with Eddie's gear.
Those boots.
Those
great boots.
Even Charlotte. Charlotte had...
All three of the girls had great entrances. Yeah. They were given their moments to shine in the match.
And they did. And
Becky's like the workhorse. She doesn't get all the acknowledgement that Sasha and Flair do. Jesus, why can't I think of his name? Charlotte.
She's too excited.
She's too excited. But Becky did a hell of a job. But yeah, I mean, I was a little upset that Sasha lost because, you know, the legit boss is #1 in my book. But I can see why they did it, and I can see the continuation of the story.
She's still the dirty heel doing dirty tactics.
Yeah, so Charlotte took the big win and kept the title. But now I'm just fantasy booking here. But in my opinion, now that Sasha didn't win, I think Sasha shouldn't win at all for the next year, for the title. I mean, win matches, of course. But I don't think Sasha should win the title. I think this should be about the chase, you know. Even have Becky win the title, hold it for a while, lose it back to Charlotte.
Bailey come out and win the title.
Bailey even come out, make her debut and win the title, and have all these moments, and then have Sasha just keep like wanting that title so bad.
And it just escapes her grasp.
Keeps escaping that grasp. And then Orlando, Florida next year, WrestleMania 33. Either have Charlotte, Sasha one-on-one, or even have Bailey be on the main roster as the champion, and have Bailey, Sasha 3 at Mania.
The rubber match.
For the title. And this would be Sasha's redemption, beating Bailey for the title after Bailey beat her for the title.
See, that's fantastic right there.
Hire me right now, WWE.
Right? I'll subscribe to your blog. That's so cool.
So let's go from that title match to the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, do we really need to talk about it?
I don't hate Roman Reigns.
I don't either.
I think
we all knew he was going to.
Yeah,
I hate Roman Reigns.
I think he's a fine wrestler. He's doing well. He's gotten better over the years, but man, it's just so forced, you know.
Yeah. Cramming it down our throats.
I don't know. We'll see. The next night on Raw, we'll talk about that a little bit, but you know, it's starting to show shades of maybe a heel turn. Mm-hmm. That might help his career. I don't know. It helped The Rock, but he's no Rock, so.
Yeah, no Rock at all.
So
the entrance was cool.
Yeah,
Stephanie and Triple H. Stephanie was awesome.
Yeah,
I was expecting her to hail the Queen.
See, when I saw her up there on that throne, I was expecting the new Ghostbusters women to come out of that. I was like, is this Zool? Like, what is this? Like, are you kidding me? Are you the Keymaster? And then all of a sudden the Ghostbusters come out.
That was cool.
That was a cool entrance, though. That was.
But
cool.
Yeah, the match was it was short. Surprisingly, you know, no big moments, no big run-ins, no big nothing.
Just, you can only carry Roman Reigns so long.
Yeah.
You know.
Triple H did
a fantastic job. Yeah. I mean, for being, 60? He still did a great job.
I'm talking about this match first because there's two other matches we need to get to. One of them was kind of just thrown together. The Rock came out, kind of talked trash to the Wyatts, and then it was The Rock and Cena versus Eric Rowan. Random.
Yeah, big time random.
The Rock is awesome. I mean, he's earned all the respect over all the years. You know, he's been great, but he kind of like is doing the same shtick over and over. It gets a pop, and that's fine, and I understand why they do it.
That's the only reason why.
But it doesn't get me excited anymore. So when The Rock came out, I was just like, oh, it's The Rock. I actually got up, went to get a drink. I mean, you know, it's The Rock. But man, when that Wyatt family music hit, and Wyatt came down, and the Fireflies.
And I wanted something big.
Yeah, I got so excited because I want so much for Bray Wyatt. I think he's so great.
He's a phenomenal character. He's awesome.
Yeah, and then we were like, wait, The Rock's wearing his boots.
Yeah, this guy noticed. Yeah.
Is he wearing breakaway pants? And they were like, yes.
Yeah, so
all of a sudden, it turned to Chippendales.
Yeah, so I thought that it was so cool that they had Wyatt come out, and I had heard that they were keeping him off of a match because he's injured and stuff, but that he was going to have a big Mania moment, and I was expecting more from it. I know he's still hurt; he can't wrestle a full match, but I mean, he took a rock bottom, so it's like he could get in there a little bit.
And that was cool for The Rock to build him up, to tell him, hey, you know what? These people are hanging on every word.
Yeah.
You got 100,000 people holding up their cell phones.
Right. You see, they build him up, and
you build him up, and bam, I'm gonna shit on you.
Exactly.
You know, why do you do that? Why do you do that, writers of WWE?
Yeah.
Sign us. You know,
yeah, for them to
we'll make you 18 million next year at WrestleMania.
For them to shit on the Wyatt family so quick. I mean, just like that. What I didn't think was cool. I think it kind of kills their momentum, and it happens a lot with the Wyatt family.
It does.
They get built up as these like vicious, guys.
Psychotic family.
Right. Only to be beat by Super Cena, only to be beat by Kane, only to be by Undertaker, only to be by
Big Show beat them once.
Yeah, and it's like,
whoops.
Wyatt had his feud with Roman Reigns and he was beat. Wyatt had his feud with Ambrose and he was beat. It's like all these feuds keep building them up.
If it was all Mike skills alone, Bray Wyatt beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah,
and I thought he's fantastic.
And I thought Rock was really going to help make them in this moment, and it just didn't do it.
Falter.
And then to have him pin Rowan in 6
seconds.
So random.
The new WrestleMania record,
wasn't
it?
Yeah. And I think the main event, the true main event, was Shane versus Undertaker in Hell in a Cell.
That leap.
Shane taking that bump.
That leap.
Oh my God. It pissed Superstar Billy Graham off, but whatever. That was a great match.
Him off?
Yeah, that dude. I think that's another episode. We'll do a Superstar Billy Graham episode.
I think it was really cool for Shane to bring his boys out.
That was
a cool entrance.
Being now that you're a family man.
Now that I have my boy.
Now you have your son. You gonna do that when you come out?
One day he'll be in this fourth chair.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, seeing that was a really cool moment to see Shane with his boys. And Undertaker did. I think people don't expect a lot from him anymore because you expect him to get his shit in, because he deserves it. But he actually worked hard, and he did great. He got a good match out of Shane, and vice versa. They did a good job together. I was surprised to see some of the big spots. I mean, of course, the leap, but some of the other big spots they did. They had a good match. That leap that Undertaker did with Shane had him. Was it like a headlock or sleeper hold?
It was a sleeper.
And for him, Undertaker to dive onto that table, sacrifice himself. That was a cool surprise for me. I didn't expect Taker to do something like that. And then Shane going coast to coast.
That was the best coast to coast I think I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, that was an awesome coast to coast.
Shane really stepped up his game.
Yeah, and then of course the moment everybody was talking about that giant. Was it 20 feet? 20 something?
20 feet.
20 something feet leap onto the
his kids watched him murder himself.
Was his mom in the audience too?
Yeah. Linda was there. His wife was there.
Linda, the wife, the kids, Frank the Clown. Shit.
So that was a cool match. Full of cool moments. Shane did lose, so he didn't get control of WWE, which then
let's talk about that.
So I don't know. Mania for me is always going to be Mania. It's always going to be the show of shows, and some years are better than others. Last year, of course, we thought was phenomenal, but we were there, so that makes us a little impartial. This year, it didn't do everything for me that it did last year, but it was still a good show.
It's still WrestleMania.
It's still WrestleMania. It's still WWE. Yeah. They still always know how to pull out great moments. You know, they're always, every WrestleMania, good or bad, is going to have its WrestleMania moments. You know, we're never going to forget Shawn and Foley and Steve Austin coming out. We're never going to forget that Shane leap. You know, we're never going to forget that.
The giant box of Bootios.
The giant box of Bootios, the women's match. You know, everybody, you know, worked hard. So it's, you know, not to take away from any of the wrestlers or anything like that. So it's Mania. It is what it is. Some people hate it. Some people love it. But it is WrestleMania.
I'm gonna steal a line that was said online from one of our favorites, Hood Slam talent, Johnny Butabi. He said that, yeah, the matches sucked and it wasn't really a draw. Triple H versus Reigns wasn't a draw, but WrestleMania is the draw.
Exactly.
He said you could put a picture of a cock and balls on that poster and you're still going to watch it. You're still going to get the event tee. Excuse my language, but it's true. You are going to get it because it's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania itself is the draw.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the Super Bowl. People buying tickets to the Super Bowl before they even know who's playing in the game.
Exactly.
Exactly. It is what it is. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. We had a good time watching it.
Oh, yeah.
And then after Mania comes the real show, Raw after Mania.
So Vince came out, Shane came out, and then he put Shane in charge. And I want to talk about that first, and I want to talk about that at the end of this episode. So he gave Shane the reins for one day, right?
Mm-hmm. Which was kind of weird. I think
random.
Sorry,
it's just random because I still think Shane holds something over Vince's head. That whole thing where, you know, he first debuted and the whole Stephanie thing, he still holds something over Vince's head.
I think that the angle that they were going for was that Shane put himself through so much to show how much he wants it, that he almost like earned the respect of his father back.
One day.
You know, a bit of respect.
Yeah, like, alright,
you got it, son of a bitch.
Yeah, there you go.
It did not disappoint.
No,
we had some debuts.
Yeah,
Apollo Crüe.
I did not expect him to see.
I didn't expect to see him either.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to come to the main roster so quick. It's awesome, but
I'm happy for it. But why do you have to go against Breeze? Breeze of all people. Why do you gotta shit on Breeze, man? Like, I'm a Breeze supporter, but come on, they could have gave it to like one of the social outcasts.
Yeah.
You know, he's their new Steve Lombardi. Breeze is the new Steve Lombardi. That's what it is. Sorry, Breeze, but you know.
I think the only thing with Apollo Crüe is that he needs a little bit more character development. Yeah. Not so much to fault of his own, but I think maybe like before he came out, like if they would have showed the packages that they showed on NXT about his family and stuff, just to give people a little bit of
this is who he is.
Right, and to get behind him a little bit, because honestly, as much as we love NXT, not everybody watches it. Some people only watch WWE TV, and so when they see this guy, it's like, whoa, who's he?
He's awesome.
I have friends that all about Raw, all about SmackDown, all about WrestleMania.
Yeah, they know
what's NXT?
They know nothing about these guys, so I think WWE should do that a little bit more with all the guys, but especially someone like Cruz, who hasn't had a lot of time on the mic, hasn't had a lot of storylines. You know, he's been wrestling great matches, but just not involved in a lot. And I think if they would have just kind of shown, maybe they will over the next few weeks, hopefully they do, to kind of give him a personality, to give some people something to care about, you know.
Simba Jr.?
No, God, that's
good. Shut up, higher than he is. Another debut on Raw was the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Baron Corbin.
Looked strong.
Strong against Ziggler. Yeah, I think the match was kind of, I mean, it was a double count out. That was kind of weird, but it did end with him just doing the end of days on the floor.
I think that was the idea, to keep him looking strong against a main event guy like Ziggler.
They counted him out and he said, "It's on you, ref, it's on you." And then he hit him with the end of days, which is one of my favorite finishers.
Oh yeah, it's a great finisher.
Especially when it's off the ropes, but that was another good one. Another one that all of us love. Finally, Enzo and Cass on the main roster.
Did you guys see Enzo's socks? Did you guys see Enzo's
socks? It was BIG, wasn't it?
Notorious Big with the crown. Oh my! Just his socks alone, I marked out.
He said he was G'd up from the feet up.
I want those socks. Those are awesome.
Couple of haters. Couple of haters.
I'm gonna drop you like deuces.
Against the Dudleys, I think that's a great first feud to go into. the established veterans.
Yeah, Enzo is great. I mean, he's fantastic on the mic.
His mic skills are...
He's one of the best. I mean,
oh yeah.
And if I think if he continues to do the things he does, if they continue to keep giving him mic time like that, I think he's going to go way over.
Oh yeah.
And Cass too. Not only Enzo. Enzo and Cass together are an awesome team, and it's real for them. I mean, like real recognizes real, they say. So I think people are going to recognize that they're really best buddies.
Yeah.
They're really
they grew up together.
Yeah, they're really, they really, they play off of each other so well. And
it's a good little man, big man.
Yeah,
perfect
and Cass has been great, but I think Cass is so lucky to have Enzo because Cass didn't have that personality, and now
they play off each other.
Enzo loosens him up and gets him.
You need to start taking the same cocaine. Cass better that.
So I
know Enzo. I know you.
Enzo, man, it's like. You know that was all dusty. Yeah, baby, what we want you to do is we want you to go out there and be coked up. Just act like you're coked up, baby.
Yeah. This is the 70s, baby.
Do some weird feet shit, baby.
So I mean, he's got the gift of gab. He's got the mic. He's got the mic on his hand. He's the
how you doing?
The Michael Jordan with jargon.
So what about Carmella? Is she not gonna be there?
I think she'll come up. She might. I'm thinking she's probably gonna continue feuding with some of the girls in NXT for a while, and then she'll. What I would love to see is I don't know if everyone knows, but Bubba Ray in real life is dating Velvet Sky, and I hear that Velvet Sky
is a free agent right now. Is
going to be a free agent, if not now, real soon. Her TNA contract is going to expire. I would love to see Velvet Dudley come into the fold, help those boys win. And then Enzo and Cass counter with Carmella.
Wow.
And then we go, mixed tag.
That'd be awesome.
Hire me right now, WWE.
So, not only did we all have these debuts, but we also had a return of Cesaro.
That was awesome.
The Hitman character, the suit, that was
ripped
great.
His whole suit off.
I
was hoping to see the barcode in the back of his head.
I like to play these things out in my head afterwards, like what I would have done. I think it was awesome seeing the music start and seeing him walk out. But I thought, man, how great would it have been if they say, oh, here's the fourth person to come out, lights go out, video package starts on the screen of like a car, like a Ferrari or Lambo or something cruising down the street.
European car.
Just like hauling ass down the street, almost like they did with John Cena's entrance.
WrestleMania 22.
Something badass like that. Driving in the mountains or wherever, and
the Swiss Alps, the box of Swiss chocolate on the seat,
and then all of a sudden the badass
wearing his watch,
and then the badass car drives up into the arena, doors open,
and then
out comes Cesaro.
That would have been sick. That would have been awesome.
And then he walks up, he's in the suit, then he walks up and rips the suit off.
Awesome.
That would have been awesome.
This guy's on fire.
Either way, it was awesome to see Cesaro come back. He looked a little bit out of ring shape, but I mean he's gonna get back to that.
My guy's
He probably is already.
Physique is phenomenal.
This guy sleeps on the floor to keep his body conditioned. Man,
so he had an awesome return, awesome match. I expected him to win. It didn't happen though. But
who won?
They don't want none. No, they don't want none.
So AJ Styles is now the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. Here's my thought on that. Vince let Shane run the show, right? So he is the authority figure. So is he going to come back next week and say, hey, guess what? AJ, that was great. Shane, that was great. But guess what? Doesn't count because you're not the authority. I'm the authority. Or if Triple H Stephanie comes out and says, I'm the authority. I just see something happening like that.
So you don't think the Styles Reigns match is going to happen?
I would love to, but it just seems like he gave Shane the reins for one day.
Too easily.
Just a little too easy. So all this stuff that he's implementing.
Big Show goes back to being #1 contender.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Right. But I would love to see that match. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see
AJ Styles would have to wrestle. I mean, you have to carry him.
I think this might be a good way, since they didn't debut at NXT, they didn't debut at Mania, they didn't debut at Raw. I think I think now this might be the time, the way to bring in some backup for AJ Styles, help him win the title. I don't know, maybe he won't win.
And Gallows were in Dallas all
I think
weekend.
Bullet Club could be brought in under whatever name they're going to be. Everybody's expecting them in NXT to be with Balor because the Balor Club thing, but I think that they might get called up straight to the main roster and be with AJ Styles. I think it's going to be a good way to bring them in. So.
Well, who's to say the Bulletproof isn't one thing and the Balor Club isn't the other, and sometimes they kind of intermix because, I mean, it said it was basically Bulletproof on top of the Balor Club shirt. Maybe it's like an intertwining
NWO red and white.
So when they go over here, they're Bulletproof, but when they go help Balor, they're the Balor Club. Again, I'm just throwing that out because they have history with both guys.
But regardless, as of right now, AJ Styles is the #1 contender.
For now.
We might be seeing AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns at
Payback.
Is it Payback?
Or Extreme Rules?
Payback is the next one. Yeah. So as the way it's looking right now, it's going to be AJ Styles in a main event picture in WWE. What do you guys think?
Amazing.
I'm all for it.
And 3 months in, 4 months in, awesome.
Yeah, so maybe
they're gonna say, hey, you know what, job to Jericho at Mania, but we're gonna give you the #1 contendership.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he lost, and that was sad, but now he's #1 contender. I'm okay with him losing.
Yeah.
So that was a high. Now let's go to a low. Your guy, Zack Ryder,
losing the title.
To the Miz.
One day. I mean, I think it was a way to reintroduce Maurice. She's back into the WWE. She's going to be a character now on Total Divas the next season. So they wanted.
But is she going to be a wrestler?
Back into the fold. I think she's going to be.
We're going to see some Miz, Maurice, Ryder, Emma matches.
That would be great. I don't know if they're going to acknowledge Emma and Ryder's relationship.
It's all over the media.
Well, yeah.
It might happen.
But I think that was probably just more of a way to do that. I think it would be cool to keep this feud going a little bit and even have Ryder
exchange
kind of have the chase again, like I was talking about, the money's in the chase, like they say. So I think Ryder would be chasing that title again. And
cool Razor Ramon story, him holding Razor's title.
Yeah.
It was a great weekend for him. I just think it sucked. They gave him a one-day reign.
Yeah.
They could have.
Yeah. Hopefully he.
Now he's chasing the title.
Yeah. Hopefully he wins it again, which would be cool. But that's alright.
It is what it
is. It is what it is.
But
overall,
I think
it was a good Raw.
It was a good Raw. It's always a raucous crowd.
So overall, Mania weekend, great weekend.
Great weekend.
Yeah.
I want to know
is.
What is your #1 Mania moment? It could be match, it could be crowd reaction, it could be anything.
Mania weekend moment?
The whole weekend, the whole encompassing weekend. What was your favorite thing that happened? I'm gonna go with you since you were gone for 2 episodes.
Right?
He's already said it.
I've said it. I'm gonna say it again. Is that Nakamura Zayn match?
Oh, yeah.
The fight forever, the hard, strong style hits. I mean, just that match alone, I would have been willing to pay the $59.99 for that. That NXT.
I don't know what the hell just happened. All of a sudden, the camera just shut off, but we're back with another camera.
Technical difficulties.
This is the second time it's happening. I don't know, man. We need to upgrade to HD this time.
You know what we need to do is we need to get you an iPhone.
Yeah, man.
Because now we're filming on my iPhone.
So now we got his reaction. Let's talk about his best Mania moment, Nakamura, obviously. How about you, man?
Well, like my brother said, Nakamura Zayn. I mean, there was nothing that topped it. Mania weekend. There was lots of great moments. I mean, the women's title match was awesome. Balor and Samoa Joe was awesome. The ladder match, the Hell in a Cell, all this was great stuff. But nothing topped Nakamura Zayn. Those guys had hell of a match. Like I said before, when we talked about the match, it was a perfect match for Nakamura being his debut and a perfect match for Sami Zayn being his exit from NXT.
And he's such a character. Like his movements and his style and his
flamboyant and charismatic as hell.
His charisma carries him.
He's the Japanese Gorgeous George. Like, it's awesome.
So he's the real Captain Charisma.
So that was my Mania weekend moment too. Yeah.
I'm wearing the shirt. I'm wearing the shirt.
Is it a clean sweep?
It's a clean sweep, but even from the time that they showed the video package of the whole, Regal introducing him, to Zayn's entrance. The crowd was just already hyped up, giving their love to Sami Zayn. Then the lights go out. They're doing the Nakamura chant.
Yeah.
Then that violin hit, and first off, that song is great. I downloaded it.
I need to download it.
And then Nakamura, man, even he makes walking look awesome.
I want to walk like that. I have no rhythm whatsoever.
And it was great that he didn't lose his identity, like you said. But that match was hard hitting. It was a show of respect from both guys, a show of respect from the crowd. It pretty much sucked the wind out of everybody.
Oh yeah. The moment I found out that he was coming to NXT, I told one of my guys, Keith Perry, at our store, and I told Keith, I was like, you need to keep an eye on this guy Nakamura because this guy is the shit. Yep. And so Keith, never heard of him, never, whatever. Went home and YouTubed him, and he comes back and tells me, he goes, I'm a fan of Nakamura now. Like he was, Keith is a wrestling fan, but now that he's seen Nakamura and what he can do in Japan and what he can do here, like I think we baptized Keith in blood.
Yeah, I mean that guy's record speaks for itself. So, youngest IWGP champion, 5-time Intercontinental champion in the IWGP. I mean, tag titles, climaxes.
So it's unanimous. Our Mania moment, favorite Mania moment.
Nakamura.
The Ring Crew all agrees.
Nakamura versus Zayn.
Amazing. I'm so happy for that guy. Yeah. He's arrived. He said it after the match. Strong Style has arrived. Get the new shirt. It's awesome. That pretty much covers the entire
thanks for sticking with us. This was a
long episode.
Back to be back, guys.
Yeah, finally this guy. Vaudevillains are going to debut on SmackDown. Be sure to check that out. Another main roster debut. Should be good. We'll cover all that. That's going to do it for this episode. We have a couple indie shows coming up here pretty soon. Best of the West is back here in Fresno.
Next week, the 17th. I'm excited.
We'll be there. We'll talk about that. We'll be there. It's going to be great. They're going to crown a champion. As always, do what you do, but whatever you do, don't mess with WrestleMania weekend or the Ring Crew. We'll see you next time.